Hey everybody, I have been gone so long. I said, you know what? I need to start treating this like a job and just showing up regardless of what's going on in my personal life, how I feel, yada yada yada. So the BET Awards comes on once a year every June, right? So I'm watching that, and of course, we got some highlights. Like every show, there's gonna be some parts where it's like, whoa. So Donald Glover comes on to um, introduced some award which Killer Mike ended up getting. But before he presented it to Killer Mike, he was talking, and I don't know if it was off the dome or if he wrote it, but he was basically talking about how, like, hey, I have more Grammys than Will Smith, but the same amount of BET awards as Sam Smith. And he said, basically, he was just talking about how come he's not, he should have more awards. And if you listen to Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, he has a very eclectic sound of music. At my job, there's a song I didn't know it was him because it just we have music playing throughout the day. I just happened to look it up and saw it was him. I said, okay, this song is cool, it's mellow, but Donald has a point in I feel like we do not show enough of black artists that are in genres outside of R&B, rap, soul, right? We don't we don't do that enough. And it's crazy because this episode, not episode, but this show, they featured some black country artists. But let's be clear. The only reason why that was done is because Beyonce has a country album out. I promise you, I can't prove it because I can't go back in time. But I promise you, if Beyonce just had some regular dance album out, like her Renaissance or a regular R&B album, they would have not showcased those two country music artists. And it's like, why is it that a huge R&B artist has to go, experiment in another genre in order for BET to be like, okay, now we're going to showcase these black country music? Because there's been black country music stars before Beyonce. Darius Rucker is one that comes to mind when I think about that. Any of y'all that grew up in the 90s, you remember Hootie and the Blowfish and how everybody thought he was Hootie, but he was like, no, that's just the name of the group. But he was the voice of the group. He went solo, years ago. But we don't see Darius Ruckers there. Lenny Kravitz, not too long ago, said how he's not invited to the BET Awards. And I think that's great that they are speaking about that, because I think we put so much emphasis on Grammys, Oscars, these mainstream awards. We do want to build up our own stuff. Like, to me, a BET award should hold just as much weight to you as an artist, because you're being acknowledged you're being acknowledged in your culture, your community, and people like Lenny Kravitz, we don't see him. Now, I do think black people got with Donald Glover when he did the whole Atlanta thing on FX. And if I'm not mistaken, he was in a show called Community first, if I'm not mistaken. He's been in a few movies and everything. He actually showed a preview, a trailer of his movie that's coming up, and it looks good. And going to go a little off subject, but still on subject. Jordan Peele, to me, is one who I'm not going to say he started black horror, because it's not true, but I feel like he did bring it into the forefront. He did make it to where you see other directors and writers coming out with this stuff. There's a writer by the name of, God, I forgot his name. But anyway, he has this book out called Blood at the Root, because he said he wanted to see more black fantasy, more black, would sci-fi go in with fantasy? I guess it kind of intertwines books. So he wrote it, and now it's a bestseller. We do need to open up more. I remember back when I was younger, BET didn't show too many other genres with black artists, but they did at least show black artists that weren't mainstream. You know, we need to understand that we are all so different and open that up. You know, like Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm not sure if she's still in there, but she was in a rock group. Now, it didn't really blow up, because I don't know if it's because it was Jada's group and people were kind of leery of it because it was Jada, but it's like, we can do gospel, rap, R&B, country is now acceptable thanks to Beyonce. Jazz, which is not really a popular thing, but it's still done. Folk music. I mean, we can do it all. So let's showcase that. So I know this, you know, his speech is going to have a lot of mixed reviews. I was on Twitter earlier and there were people, you know, agreeing, disagreeing. There's people saying he's not in touch with his blackness. I've heard people say that about Lenny Kravitz as well when he made the statement about not being invited to the BET Awards. But maybe we need to broaden what it means to be black, because we are not all the same. And I think we should open it up for more artists, you know, and we can even go as far as, I think movies and TV shows are getting better with the broader categories, thanks to, you know, people producing, writing their own stuff and then put it in on networks like Tubi and Amazon Prime. But big organizations like BET Awards, let's showcase that. But anyway, I wasn't going to be on here too long. I'm about to go to sleep. The awards is still on, but I got to get up super early to go to work. So as always, shout out to my 63 subscribers. Shout out to you as well. If you are not subscribed, you know you can. It's free. Just hit that subscribe button. Peace and blessings to you all. Until next time.